welcome to this edition of Business Supes, where we interview successful local business owners, learn a little bit about them, their business, and of course, their business superpower. I am joined today by Darcy Swift with Swift Staffing Solutions. So, Darcy, thanks so much for being here and welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You are very, very welcome. So let's start off. Just tell us a little bit about yourself and your business. What's your origin story?
I am a staffing recruiter, medical staffing recruiter, and have been doing this for 30 years, recruiting and sales and networking and all of the staffing things, and decided that it was time. Actually, my husband decided that it was time I started my own company and taught me into
That was
doing
nice of
it.
him.
It was very nice of him. Yes, and he taught me into doing it, and we've been going ever since.
And how long is it ever since?
We're coming up on our 9th year.
Okay. Wow. So what is it about owning your own business that appeals to you?
I could do it my way. I worked at a lot of places, and there were things that I liked, and there were things that I didn't like, and it's a very competitive field. It's a very cutthroat competitive field, but it doesn't have to be that way inside your doors. And that was one of the things that appealed to me, is that I don't have to have the normal way of doing things. I can do it my way.
Yeah, it's funny because when I ask that question, it always comes back to the theme of freedom, whether it's financial freedom, time freedom, freedom to do things the way you want to do it, freedom to hire the people you want to hire and work with the people you want to work with. There's always some type of underlying freedom theme there. So I love it. So with medical staffing, do you work with all of the big hospital systems in the area? Do you tend to work with more smaller? What's I guess your ideal client?
Our area that we like to go into are clinics, independently owned. We can go with the big hospitals and their clinics. I don't like to go into the hospital itself. That's a different kind of medical person that we're looking for,
Right.
different kind of staffing that we're looking for. But I do like to work with the clinics and the clinic managers and the clinic owners. It's a niche that I think it's in demand, and there's a lot of clinics out there independently owned, and
Hmm.
like me, they get to do it their way. So um, one of the things that we do is their way. Whatever works for them works for us. We're supposed to be the easiest thing that you do during the day, not the hardest thing. Have we ever had those calls where we think this is just it's just a cheeseburger? I'm just ordering a cheeseburger, but turns out to be the hardest thing I've done all day. And that
Hmm.
should never be when you call Swift Staffing. It should be the easiest thing that you do. And we should take care of you. And so that's exactly how I wanted to do it. And it makes it easy on those clinics. In a clinic manager tends to do everything in that clinic.
Hmm.
They're doing a million things during the day. And we want to take some of that off their shoulders and not make it where they don't have to worry about it. We've got it taken care of for you.
Yeah, because hiring is a very, very time consuming process. So that's a great point. So you said independent clinics. So are we talking everything from doctors' offices to dentists to chiropractors to mental health? I mean, what's the range there?
All of it. All of it.
Okay.
If it is a clinic that runs 8-ish to 5-ish, Monday through Friday, if it is a clinic that sees some sort of medical behavioral health, we can do chiropractic, we can do dental, we can do um, family practice, all of the specialties. I hire medical people, and so they have worked in the medical field and they understand what these people are looking for, what managers need, how we need to help them not take their time, but free their time. And
Hmm.
then we actually go and visit the clinic so that we can see their environment and we can see what kind of person would be a good fit in that environment. And we
Oh,
send them
nice.
experienced people that would be a good fit.
So you said you hire people who have experience. How many folks do you have on your team?
I have 8 people on my team right now.
Okay. Wow. And what specifically have you been able to delegate to them as an owner so that you can focus on the $500 an hour work instead of having to focus on the $12 an hour work?
Well, that has been a progress for me because I did all the recruiting and all the interviewing and all the sales. And for me to let it go has been kind of a progress, but I have let all of that go pretty
Good.
much. I have qualified, capable people, and I'm the one that has trained them. And so, because I've trained them the way I want it done, they're very good and they want exactly what I want is to make this easy and make it fun and make it something that we want. We're a staffing service, not a temp
Hmm.
agency. We're wanting to find that person that's going to work out in the clinic, that's going to be a good fit, that's going to have a job. And we're wanting to find that job for that person. So their heart is there too. It's a lot of passion and a lot of heart, and I hire a lot of people that have that passion and that heart.
That's fantastic because that's one of the things I see a lot with businesses is they 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 haven't defined what they want their culture to be, and when that happens, it tends to just turn into whatever they allow. So
Yep.
how have you what have you done to kind of create a culture where people are so passionate about doing their job and about helping your customers?
First of all, it is in the interviewing process. We talk about my passion and we talk about what this means to find someone a job and how you can change their world, but not just change their world, break a chain. You can change
Hmm.
their family, you can change their direction, you can change their momentum, you can change their potential, you can change a lot of things by finding them that right job and coaching them and helping them through it and helping them become successful. It's not just finding them a job and then we're done. We're helping them become
Right.
successful. And then when something happens and they come back to us, we help them get further down that road, not take 4 steps back, but get further down that road. And when a child sees their parent changing their world, a child dares to dream more about their own world. And so you're changing momentum. And so in the interview process, we talk about all of that. And it's important for me to have like minded people working with me. And so I can get further if I have like minded people, and so can they. The other part of that is I want their success. I want them to be
Hmm.
successful. So I don't have to have the name and the face all the time. They do. They have to be out there. They have to be networking. They have to build their reputation and their name and their face and their networking potential. And is what a lot of owners or managers don't seem to remember or understand is if they are successful, I am successful automatically.
Right.
So it's more important for me to let them be successful than for me to worry about my success. I spent a lot of years building mine. I need to help them build theirs. And so we talk about that. And if I have someone that's very interested in this stuff, they want to change and they want their potential and they have the heart and the passion, and then I tell them this is a really cool gig because you get to change people's lives and you get paid for it. So
Wow.
that kind of helps them too. And so another part of the culture is we don't have drama in our office. So it's important that they all like each other and that they all get along because we're small and they all have each other's back and we all can defend each other and we can step in when someone's out and we can protect each other when we're going through life things because everybody's going to go through them. So if that's all in the interview process and then in the training process. And in that training process, I have what I call Friday conversations. Every Friday for 90 days, we have a conversation about where you are. What are you doing that you're proud of? What are you doing that you're stumbling through? What do we need to back up and have more training on? How are you liking it? Are you even liking it? Is this something
Right.
you see yourself doing long term? Because in 90 days they're going to make that life change. They're going to make the decision to stay or the decision to go, and we all need to be on board with it. So we have
Hmm.
conversations, and a lot of times when you're going through your day, you don't see the successes that you've had during the day or during the week. And so when I ask them, what have you done this week that you're proud of, they always have to sit there and think a minute because they didn't really recognize it. but
Hmm.
sometimes they won't recognize it. And I'll turn around and say, can I tell you what I saw that I'm proud of?
Nice.
So that they can build their confidence in what they're doing and what they're learning to do during that training process. And then at the end of the training process, we have all meshed, we've all gotten to know each other, and we're all like a family now. So
That's
that's kind of how I approach that.
That's fantastic. I love hearing that, and I like you talking about the community too. I'm reading a book called The Happiness Advantage, and one of the things that he talks about, especially in tough times, is who's that emotional support unit you have around you. You know, your family, but also your coworkers. And when things are going tough, people tend to recede and step back from that support unit versus leaning into it, which it sounds like is something that you encourage people to do so that they have that support and they can get through those challenging times. So that's fantastic. I love it. Do you find when you ask those new hires that question about what are you proud of accomplishing this week, do you find that very often they skip right over that and start telling you the things that they're not happy with, the things that they think they did wrong?
Yes. Or they'll say something good and take it to something bad. And then I
Hmm.
always take it back to the good. Okay, well, we'll talk about that in a minute. Let's talk about this other one that's good real quick. Let's sit on that for a minute.
That's
I
awesome. I
had a
love it.
recruiter tell me one time, I said, what did you do this week that you're proud of? And she said, nothing. And I said, are you kidding me? You interviewed a friend that you went to school with and you found her a job that she loves. How are you not proud of that? You help someone that you know. So she could like this just like, oh, I did. So she was taken back by that.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I love just reframing the mind, right? What perspective, depending on the perspective you look at something, it really has a big impact on whether it's positive. You know, it's the whole glass is half full, glass is half empty thing. So that's awesome. So you got some really cool stuff going on there. So out of all of that, what would you say is your business superpower?
My business superpower is networking. I
Okay, could you tell us a little bit more about that?
networking is a big part of the staffing world. And I like to talk. So so I like to talk to anybody. I'll talk to anybody. And so networking is important to driving business. And if I have someone that's quiet, I tend to bring things out of them by talking to them, but I also give them the freedom to talk and
Hmm.
permission to talk and actually the encouragement to go out and meet people. So one of the things that I work on with my recruiters is get involved with the schools, go to their job fairs, go to their advisory boards, go meet the presidents, go meet the teachers, go meet the students, get involved with the community. And then one of our superpowers is giving back to the community. It's very important to give back.
Is there a specific organization that you give back to, or how exactly do you give back?
Actually, we're getting ready to get involved with Young Lives. And
Okay.
Young Lives is rebuilding in Tulsa and in Oklahoma City. Young Lives, the part that we're focusing on is for young moms and helping young moms in any way that we possibly can. So sometimes we give back with our time, and sometimes we give back with money. But we do love to give back to the community and be a part of the community.
Well, last question here. What advice would you have for other business owners?
Take that step. It's just a
I'm
step.
sorry.
Take that step. It's just a step, but everyone's afraid of it because we have our strengths and we have our weaknesses. If you're afraid of the weakness, find someone that's strong in that area and take that step together. But take that step because it's worth it.
No, that's fantastic advice. I talk to my coach, and she always tells me, you can't steer a parked car. So when you actually get some motion, you actually get some action. If you determine that you don't like where you're headed, it's really easy just to. This is Oklahoma, so we wouldn't even use a blinker. We'd just go ahead and turn, but put that signal on and
Yeah.
change direction. So that's Darcy. That's fantastic, fantastic advice. Thanks so much for sharing that, and thanks so much for taking some time to hang out with us and tell us a little bit about your business and your business superpower.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.